Today, we are going to take a look at all the Karens who are petty enough to go after the kids.
Why don't you bloody grow up? Get in! Hey, why don't you bloody get out? Get off me!
And they didn't go easy on them either. The sidewalk Karen. This young man was riding his bike down the sidewalk. Suddenly, he was met with a crazy Karen. She demanded that he get off the sidewalk, and she didn't do it very nicely. The boy drove off, but Karen wasn't done yet. She followed him to his home and brought out the victim card, making up a sad story.
He tried to run us down on the sidewalk.
I did not.
And lied to us.
I have a video.
It's a great thing that there's a camera strapped to his chest.
Good. Come on, boy. Just get it on. Let me
Get
see
away
it.
from me.
Come on.
Get away
Come
from
on.
me.
She claimed that the boy almost ran her over on the sidewalk. Little did she know that the boy had a camera strapped to his chest, and her lies were just going to come back to bite her. The footage clearly shows her pushing the kid off the bike. Hearing that, the woman became even more erratic, trying to ambush the kid again. Luckily, the internet caught on to her actions and made her viral. The drunk Karen. This drunk Karen was dumb enough to mess with a bunch of skaters. First, she was only annoying them. Then, she started to verbally accuse them.
Get away, cause I don't give a d. I'll put this away and your motherfucking shit up. My daughter know what's blue.
She even tried to threaten this kid that she would hurt him. The boy took it lightly at first, but things escalated when Karen started poking him in the eye. She even smacked him. So, the boy gave her a similar response, sending her to the ground. Karen still dared to ask the kid to keep the tape, and that she'd use it to show the cops. Okay, Karen, move along. The crying Karen. This woman tried to gain the edge of the battle by pushing this kid in the face. Seconds later, karma came calling with its banners held up. The woman lost and then cried about it in public. Look at her bullying the kid again for simply winning. Just let it go, Karen. You lost and got whooped by a 13-year-old. The pious Karen. Do you spot the girl on the monkey bars? That's a hula hooping champion practicing in a neighborhood park.
That is so obscene.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you're doing this in our neighborhood park.
But somebody doesn't like seeing people happy. So, what does this woman do? Pull out the Karen card, of course. The girl who was practicing can be spotted hanging upside down. Midway, her shirt fell a few inches. The crazy Karen made it her duty to remind her of that. Then, she went ahead to snatch the hula hoop from the girl. The girl got down to argue, but the woman had a perfectly rational response to it. She threw the hula hoop down the other side. Good thing she went viral. Disgruntled old Karen. A group of kids were practicing their skateboarding moves on the sidewalk. The old Karen wasn't very pleased and started yelling at them. She claimed that they were always pulling off these stupid moves in her driveway. Karma hit her soon enough when she tripped and almost fell on the same driveway. She didn't leave the chance to blame that on the kids too.
This is another reason you shouldn't have this crap down here, because there are pedestrians here, and we don't always see what you have out here.
We move it when they come down.
The funny Karen. This woman wasn't very happy with these skateboarders, so, being a Karen, she decided to act obnoxious about it.
Get your hands off me.
That's not.
Touch me.
Give us the board back.
No.
Give us the board
This
back.
is private property. I
Alright.
live here.
It's
I
my
asked
board.
you not to do it, and
Okay.
you did it anyway.
She snatched the boys' board and threatened them that she'd call the cops. The boys tried to reason with her, but she wouldn't budge. She even tried to act funny for the camera. Maybe just stick to your disgruntled self, Karen. The woman was trying to get into her house with the stolen skateboard, but the boys wouldn't let her. As one tried to distract her, the other snatched the board back and the duo then sprinted.
Little bastard!
Oh no! Sorry!
The stupid mom, Karen. This woman's son was wrestling with a black kid in a public arena. When she saw him losing to the black kid, she decided to intervene. She grabbed the black kid's arm and tried to pull him away from her son.
Back up!
The whole crowd erupted into a series of complaints as the woman denied doing anything. Typical Karen. The kids were allowed to wrestle again, while the woman was sent to the back of the crowd. The driver, Karen. A child was peacefully riding his bike on the streets. A woman pulled up and started yelling at him. She claimed that he could have killed her and that he was too young to be riding a bike. Despite the kid apologizing, Karen wouldn't shut up. The boy wrapped the conversation up and drove off. The judgmental Karens. A duo of Karens saw a black kid with a white woman and assumed that the black kid was involved in a crime. The couple called the cops saying that they saw two black men robbing the white woman. They were never spotted again. Turns out, the black kid was just driving with his white grandma. The cop took it to another level, probably carrying the same sets of Karen genes. He pulled out his gun, even though the kid was already out. The officer had to have known it was a juvenile. Even then, the kid was held for 6 minutes before being released. The mad teacher. A bunch of students were startled when their teacher grabbed a pair of scissors. Next thing you know, she was randomly picking students and chopping their hair off. Karen was pulling all of this while singing with an extremely shrill voice. The kids got so scared that they bolted from the classroom, leaving the crazy teacher behind. The entitled mom, Karen. This woman came up to these skaters and started yelling at them.
No, we were not saying shit to those kids. We were not saying shit to those kids. Don't even give me that call. And then he started shit with us.
She was somehow advocating for her kids, but it wasn't looking pretty on the camera. The woman yelled and verbally cussed at the kids for a whole minute. Then she threatened to slap the kid and told him there was nothing he'd be able to do about it. When the kids said that they were going to put her on the internet, the woman lost it. She started chasing them. The kids outran her, so Karen sent her kids after the skaters. And that, folks, is how you make a complete fool of yourself. Smart kid roasts, Kevin. This kid was cussing in the park, so this father decided to teach him a lesson. But apparently, he had the Karen genes, and he ended up making a big fool of himself on the camera. He tried to intimidate the kid with his words, but the kid was simply too smart and kept roasting him every chance he got. The mad Karen. Karen abruptly stopped these young kids riding on their dirt bikes. She told them straight up that they weren't allowed to ride their dirt bikes there. The boys were kind enough not to mess with her, but the woman wanted a win, and that was going to come by harassing a bunch of kids.
You're not supposed to go up there on these bikes.
Sorry, we were just exploring. We saw off the side of the main trail, we saw
The only ones that can go up there are ATVs.
Karen went on to correct the boy's pronunciation of the place where he lives. The audacity was blooming high. Just then, the mother dropped by and rescued the kids from Karen. The family left, but not without revving in front of the old lady. The mumbling Kevin. This old man wasn't too pleased with the kids and their tricks on the bicycles. He made sure the kids knew that by calling them stupid and then telling them to go and die. That's a smart move to pull off when you're being recorded, Kevin. The mummy Karen. A duo of Karens kept ganging up on these kids who just wanted to ride mopeds. They even had a group named Mums Against Mopeds. As neat as it sounds, the Karens didn't stop there. When this boy was out, the woman asked the boy to give her money for her fundraiser. When the boy said he didn't have any, she said that she would give him 6 eggs for his moped. To top it off, the woman threw an egg at the kid and claimed that it fell out of her hand. When the boy said he'd call the cops, she said that she had a restless arm disorder. Those lies weren't fooling anyone, but the woman kept throwing eggs until the boy sprinted out of there. The crazy mother. 2 girls were fighting over a cell phone on the school bus. It soon became a scuffle, and one of the girls called her mother. After a few minutes, the mother caught up to the bus, but with a hammer in her hands. The bus driver was terrified as the woman banged the hammer on the door, so she raced ahead, leaving the mother behind. But the crazy Karen followed the bus and made it stop. To top it off, Karen's daughter started brandishing a broom inside the bus, reigniting terror on all the kids. The erratic Karen. A few families were sitting in the shuttle when Karen started going ballistic. She yelled at the kids, their parents, and then randomly some more. The parents fought back, but that only made her angry. The woman stood up in the middle of the bus and started screaming at the top of her lungs.
You gotta get out of here! Remember where the ship goes down.
Too bad the parents just looked back at her, unfazed. That probably made her even more upset. Kevin Axe, entitled. A couple of kids were fishing at the river when this man came and claimed that he owned the water.
You can call the cops if you want. We talked to Officer Ships who said you can fish all of this if you walk up the river. The state owns the water. State owns the water.
As absurd as it sounds, the man stuck by his claim till the end. When they wouldn't budge, he called the cops. The officer came down and told them politely to leave. He admitted that the man was being stupid, so he sent the kids without a ticket. The fan Karen. This young boy was sitting on the sidewalk, offering to clean shoes for money. But the store clerk wanted to butt in. She demanded that the boy leave the sidewalk because he was sitting on private property. She started bullying him to get him away from her store. The boy didn't argue much and left, but Karen's face is now stamped all over the internet. The scaredy cat, Karen. A woman and her kid wanted to support the Black Lives Matter movement. So, the kid decided to put the hashtag on the road with chalk. But an angry Karen called the cops on the 3rd grader. The officer came down to find that the neighborhood nuisance wasn't a problem. Instead, the 911 call was just a bitter Karen rambling on a fake issue. The attacking Karens.
Oh my God. What? No, you're not going to be touching me. You're not going to touch me. You don't touch me. You tell me why I'm being detained first.
This cop is here to arrest Karen, who assaulted a young male. The kid had hit her car and had come to the woman's house to apologize. A witness saw the woman go berserk on him. She pushed him against the wall, choked him, and scratched him on his face and neck. The kid was rescued by the witness and her son. That's when Karen turned a new shade of erratic. She started calling out racial slurs at the young kid, the people who saved the kid, and all the other neighbors. That was enough for the cop to know what was going on. He arrested her while Karen's daughter threatened him that she'd call the cops. Really bright. The officer took Karen away. The couple of Karens. 2 young kids and their father were helping out the elderly by mowing the overgrown grass on their lawn. This couple thought it would be funny to mock them. They drove by the lawn and threw an egg at the little helpers. After a few minutes, the couple drove by again and stopped in the front this time. They called out racial slurs, bullied the kids verbally, and then drove off. The family of Karens. This guy was being bothered by his neighbor Karens. They would leave their dog peeing at his house, meddle in his family's matters by peeping, and then have the audacity to harass him. The guy made sure he caught the family's bizarre behavior on camera to give them a public shout-out. The judgy male Karen. A group of teens were flying their drone around, and that pissed Kevin off.
Dude, I can't even hear you. What? I want to talk to you about the toy car. Can you come down and we can talk about it? Dude, we're not flying a drone.
He wants to talk about the drone.
Oh my god, dude, not this guy again.
He threw a rock at the drone and stole it. The teens chased him down, and he decided to bring out the victim card.
Yo, give the drone, dude.
Oh, I'll give it back. Give us the drone.
Yo, you literally broke. Dude, he broke it. The propeller's off.
Oh, it's broken.
The man claimed that he didn't want his house to be on camera, although it was 5 houses away from where the boys were flying the drone. Nonetheless, the two parties agreed on flying the drone in a set radius, but one of the kids ended up mumbling something under his breath, and that was enough to send Kevin back on the crazy train.
Come on.
A little late now, you fucking dumbass.
Give us back.
Oh, what?
Oh, come on, bro.
No, say it again.
I said a little late now, dumbass.
Oh, you want to say it like that? Oh!
He snatched the drone and smashed it on the ground, destroying it. The man fled, but not before flipping the teens off. The harassing Karen. Karen was angry at a group of girls for wearing mini skirts. First, she told them to lower their skirts. When they didn't listen, she went on to do it herself. That's when the mob of girls started arguing with her. They report that Karen also pinched their rear ends. The video of both the parties fighting was posted online by the girls. So, Karen, pulling out the victim card, calls the cops to demand the girls put the post down. Unluckily for Karen, she had set up her trap by calling the police. Despite her fake statement, the truth was that she had harassed the kids. The officer arrested the woman and took her to jail. The racist male Karen.
There's a little black woman walking and spraying stuff on the sidewalks and trees.
The 911 received a call from a male claiming that there was a young black woman spraying something in the garden. He went on to say that he was scared of her. When the cop arrived at the scene, he found that it was not a woman, but a young 9 years old spraying the garden for bugs. That's what the big man was scared of. He was left gaping at the audacity of the male Karen. He also found out that the male Karen was the family's next-door neighbor. The jealous Karen. Karen was driving down the road when she saw a bunch of kids with a lemonade stand. She was probably jealous of the kids thriving at a life better than hers. So she called the cops on them. But too bad the cops weren't on her side. They came, saw the kids, and bought lemonade from them. The officers even took a picture with them that the mum posted on Facebook. The intolerant Karen. During a graduation ceremony at a high school, the director forgot to say her final remarks and dismissed everyone in the hall. So naturally, people started leaving. Suddenly, the woman remembered what she had to do for the final speech, so she got on the podium and played the victim card instead of apologizing. Then she made it worse by calling out the black people in a racial comment. The whole crowd went berserk.
Look who's leaving, all black people.
The young Karen. This kid is going to grow up to be Kevin. He goes up to his neighbor and decides to harass them. His choice of weapon is a whip that he isn't shy of using on the neighbor's door. The crazy thing is that the boy knows what he's doing because he glances at the camera as he is using the whip. The boy does it multiple times until the woman comes out and scolds him. Lucky for him, she let him go like that. But the black couple took the matter to his dad. But being a Karen himself, he orders the couple to leave his property, hiding a gun behind his back. Pretty neat. The insane bus driver. Parents were waiting at the bus stop to get their kids, but something was wrong. There was a substitute driver who wouldn't let the kids off. She claimed that the kids didn't have any documentation. The parents called the cops, which forced the crazy bus driver to open the door. But that only lasted a moment. A frustrated parent slapped the bus driver, making Karen jump on the crazy train. She slammed on the gas and drove off. A couple of parents got in front of the bus, halting the bus. Taking the chance, an older brother flew inside the bus through the window. He started to help the kids get out through the windows. The cops soon arrived and arrested Karen. The angry male Karen. A kid was riding his dirt bike when an angry neighbor started yelling at him. The kid tried keeping a distance from the enraged man who was just going on and on about his stupid rant. Then something flipped, and the male Kevin ran to grab something. He was probably going to attack the kid. The privileged Karen. Karen was so pissed off with the black kids playing on the street that she pulled out all of her cars from the driveway to block the road. To add to the pettiness, she backed up her car into the father recording her and kept pushing into him, blaring her horn loudly.
You have a problem.
Would you stop?
You have a problem. You have a problem. You have a problem.
The racist Karen then flees, but not without pulling out the victim card. The school bus Karen. A mother was pretty upset when she found out that her kids were being yelled at by the bus driver. So, the next day, she asked the driver politely not to yell at her kids. Karen, being Karen, started yelling at the mother, completely denying the allegation. The environmentalist Kevin. A family was cutting trees in their backyard when their neighbor popped up at the scene. First, he claimed that the tree fell into his property line. That wasn't right, but Kevin had to make a fuss about something. So, he walked off, shouting about how his precious eyes would have to see the barren backyard now. You're right, that's a pretty big issue, Kevin. Insane bus driver Karen. This family was peacefully sleeping in the house. Suddenly, the doorbell rings and cops pull up. They demand that you put off the fireworks.
Alright, so you haven't been out shooting fireworks? No. Hey man, we just got that report. We gotta come and contact you to figure out what's going on. Alright.
You find out that your neighbor Karen just wants to find a way to mess with you. The stealing Karen. The player had thrown the ball to this sweet girl in the stands. Karen popped out of nowhere and tried to steal it from the kid. When that didn't work, she snatched it right from the kid's hands. The accusing Karen. Karen called the cops, wailing about how her neighbor had punched her. But the story isn't like how Karen told it here. She told the officer that the black kids in the front used to come to her house and they had asked about the game a day ago. So, she complained to the kids' mother that they had stolen the games. The black female denied that allegation and searched all over to help Karen retrieve her son's games. It didn't work, and her kindness didn't sit well with the white woman. Karen pushed the black female, and that's when it all escalated. The black female responded by punching her in the face. That's when the cops pulled up. They called Karen's son, only to find out that no game was stolen, and the missing DS from the shelf was in his room. The fan Karen. A player on the field was planning on giving the ball to the young girl. But Karen here wasted no opportunity to try and rain on the kid's parade. Thankfully, the player made sure that the young girl was the one who got the ball from him. That's all, folks. Which Karen encounter was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. If you have a Karen story, do share it with us. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let us know by smashing the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.